Hello, friends. Welcome back to Saturday Evenings Posted Mostly Presents with me, your host, Trevor Stewart 1308, and we are here with the Peanut Gallery. Hi.
Hello.
And the ASOC Prod Cat will hopefully be joining us later, but, real life, real job, real adulting gets in the way. Today's show is brought to you in association with The Hidden Leaf and Sky Mall VA on the Downtown Mall, 105 West Main Street, Charlottesville, Virginia. 105 West Main Street and 105 West Main Street, Suite 200. Great place to go with some great buds to get some great buds, eh, bud? And the only thing better than the bud is their customer service. Also, we are brought to you in association with Kush Gang Snacks, findable on Instagram at KGSnacks434, and Firehouse Organics, spelled with a Z, also findable on Instagram at Firehouse Organics, spelled with a Z. Quick note of disclaimer, we will most likely be expressing political views throughout the show today. Those views belong to us, the expressor of the opinion, and or the parent company and channel, but not necessarily any of our sponsors, including Hidden Leaf, Sky Mall VA, Kush Gang Snacks, and Firehouse Organics, spelled with a Z. Not to be confused with Firehouse, the sub sandwich company. I believe that's our ad read. So we've got a bunch of articles to get through today. Oh, but before we get started on that, I have 2 bottles of drip from Kush Gang Snacks to enjoy today. This is a light blue raspberry flavor. Oh, that's a lot of flavor. Oh, baby. Oh, baby, that's a lot of flavor. Hey, we are joined by Kat, the ASOC Prod, in their car. On mute. Second bottle.
Good morning.
Hey, Maddie. I can taste green. Yeah. I'd say it's more blue, but yeah, I can definitely taste it. Oh, that is, it's an intense amount of flavor, and that was about 1,000 milligrams. So that should get me buzzed. So, Kat, you're joining us from your car, huh?
Yep, I'm calling from a remote location that is slowly getting closer to home.
All right. So, we do have a lot to go over today.
Yes.
Our first article was on the passing of Ted Turner.
Mm-hmm.
Founder of CNN. Died at 87 this last week. What was it? Monday?
Tuesday, I want to say.
Tuesday
Either
morning?
way.
Really early in the morning. Ted Turner was a lot of things. He was a lot of things.
Were you about to say, Kat?
Nope, I wasn't about to say anything.
Okay. Thought I heard you say, by the way.
No,
Maddie.
that was a thought. That was an inside thought that was just really strong.
Inside thought that was really strong. You think really loud, Kat. Maddie
I
says,
do sometimes.
damn, I haven't seen guzzling meds like that since I saw an 1800s opium-laced cough syrup label where the kids on it were taking full bottle shots. I think in the end, Ted Turner was more on the side of good. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, to address the first thing, that's basically what I did, was a bottle shot of weed-based cough syrup. 2 bottle shots of weed-based cough syrup.
Yes. You did the shot and you started coughing.
And Ted Turner, yeah, I was surprised to find out how much on the side of good he actually was. That was not, like, I was always, my family kind of liked him, but they also found all of the Turner Broadcasting stuff that wasn't CNN a little too ladsy, if you will, a little too oriented towards men. And I kind of felt that way too. And I always felt like he was this, I always thought of him as sleazy. TCM is, not TCM, well, TCM is like the ultimate Nepo baby. Yeah, you're right. You're right. TCM was not ladsy. It was old people-y, and I appreciated that a lot. We're men in tights. I didn't realize, I did know that CNN was incredibly important. I didn't realize how much he had wanted CNN to really just be out there doing good in the world, until NPR did its retrospectives.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that, like, he was really pushing hard for a more globalized and aware public, to the point where he told his correspondents that they were not foreign correspondents, they were international correspondents. He changed the idea of the othering of people and places outside of the U.S. He really tried to make it more inclusive.
Mm-hmm. I do remember vaguely the change in wording about the reporters that were not stationed stateside.
Right.
I remember Mom thinking that was kind of nifty.
Yeah. I also remember when my mother was in business school, she put together a PowerPoint on Ted Turner. Well, on Turner Broadcasting as a company. And in that moment, I remember her talking about how he was actually not a bad guy. And he had a reputation as a sleazy sort of brash gadabout, but he wasn't bad. And in retrospect, you know, I'm not gonna hold the guy. I'm not gonna hold the guy negative for accepting that he was a slut and being a slut because he was a slut. It's okay to be a slut if you're a slut. Now, granted, he did cheat on his wife. May not be the best look. But, and you know, but that's also something for them. That was something for them to deal with. You know? That doesn't... It may make him a bad husband. It doesn't make him automatically a bad person.
Very much so. That's definitely a case of that's between the people involved, not the public necessarily.
Right. Which is weird because I kind of hold politicians to a different standard. If I find out a politician is cheating on their wife, I'm like, not okay. Not okay.
Well,
or husband.
Part of the problem with that is most of them who you find out about that have made family values a core part of their political persona.
Right. Although, even those who don't, I think what upsets me when it is the ones who aren't like, oh, family values, be good person, it's like, when it's the other people, when it's the people who are championing my side, and then they do something that hurts their credibility, I'm upset because now the credibility for my side is hurt. Because we hold the whole group responsible for the actions of individuals. So.
Which, in all honesty, as far as politicians go, they are setting themselves up to be an authority figure, to be the authority for whatever area they're in charge of.
Right.
So they are supposed to be, if not above reproach, at least behaving not badly.
Right. I sort of feel like if a politician got caught cheating and said, yes, I cheated, and that's between me and my partner, you know, and their take on it is what it is, I would have more room for that politician. It really is the ones who get in trouble for the cover-up. The cover-up is worse than the crime a lot of times. You know?
The cover-up, the using public funds to pay for the,
Oh, yeah. Using public funds for any of it. Not okay.
Yeah.
Not okay. Like, no, don't use my money for that. And that's something about, like, somebody like Ted Turner is he's not using public funds for that. He's using private funds.
Right.
Okay, the car sound is so loud, it's swamping everything out. Like, I'm pretty sure she's tried to turn left. Yeah, she's left or right, but a direction. Sorry about that. It is, one of these days, we will come up with a better setup so that we all have better sound quality. And you guys don't have to hear my laptop working extra hard. Things like that.
I mean, fair. But today was an unexpected joining in from a distant location type thing. So
yes. Because day job was being a day job.
Yes, it was. But hey, at least I was able to join before you guys got too far, so.
Or the weirdo in the background.
What?
Kevin's not a weirdo, he's a cat.
Oh, Kevin, not me. Okay, never mind.
I don't know which weirdo Darth Draconis was referring to, but it could have been that, or maybe occasionally his sound bleeds through on my mic.
Or
Yeah,
Lockpick.
that's what I thought he was talking about, was himself. I don't think he was talking about it. There was a cat? Yes, occasionally we hear Peanut Gallery's cat, Kevin, trying to join in the conversation.
No, he's not trying to join in. He's giving his opinions on whatever it is he's giving his opinions on, and cares not whether we are allowing him to join the conversation or want him to join the conversation.
When he has an opinion, he feels the need to make it known.
Very
'Cause
loudly.
Cat's gonna cat.
Oh, yes.
Well, let's listen to what CNN had to say here.
Yeah.
And then we'll continue to discuss.
Mm-hmm.
At Albemarle Stoneworks, your journey begins with a vision, which fuels our inspiration to create something that's unique to you. With our extensive inventory of natural and engineered stones,
They're gonna make
our
us watch
selection
this
to meet
ad.
your tastes and needs.
Yeah, I
You'll find
know.
that our knowledge and love for stone shines bright throughout your entire experience.
You know,
from mere concept
I
to a
really
completed
wonder
masterpiece.
if
Albemarle Stoneworks. Call to schedule an appointment to talk about your next project.
they were giving us
I don't know how to quit.
actual view inside to the place. But if that's what their work, factory floor looks like, if that's what their manufacturing area looks like, I'm worried about the health of those stone cutters.
Mm-hmm.
That fake stone like that is, I mean, even real stone, incredibly dangerous to cut. Not because the saws are dangerous, not because they could land on your foot. Yeah, that was in an ad.
There is a reason why they usually cut stone with running water.
It's all airborne particles. Yep, silicosis. Getting those particles down in your lungs is very dangerous. NPR ran a piece recently about fake stone cutters getting silicosis because the inside of their manufacturing areas don't have proper white lung. Yep, that's the one, white lung, because they don't have proper ventilation, they don't use enough water, they don't have proper protective gear, all of these things that are leading to negative health outcomes. But hear me out. I mean, this is important too. Yeah. And it's something that the profits is that much better. I mean, yeah. It's just
a fringe
silicosis.
benefit of doing the job.
What?
Because it's just a fringe benefit of doing the job. Because they're just getting stoned.
Wrong kind
But
of
the
stone.
wrong kind of stone.
And you know what? You don't have to pay out pensions and retirements. Oh, yep.
Yeah. If you've turned concrete from the inside out, it's kind of hard to get a pension.
Yup. Now, the thing about this hits particularly close to home for me. This is silicosis causes fibrosis. I am in constant danger of, not just in constant danger, I am going through the process of fibrosis. I don't have a choice in the matter. I've skipped silicosis straight to the fibrosis. And it's kind of terrifying to think that I'm probably going to drown to death on dry land. That's probably how I'm gonna die. So I have empathy for what these people are going through, getting silicosis, ending up with fibrosis, and probably drowning to death on dry land. It is... And the fact that it is avoidable, they could be doing something to help these people. But also, we don't have to be using fake stone. There are other options out there for making countertops.
But if we don't use fake stone, what are the poor petroleum companies going to do?
And there it is. Why do we use fake stone? What, like plastic? No, not plastic. Why do we... Well, fake stone is plastic. That's the thing. We could be using wood. We could be using real stone. We could be using glass. All kinds of things we can be using that aren't fake stone. Cheese and crackers, that was a loud one.
What?
Taste the microplastics. Oh, my neighbor just fired off his arm cannon.
Ah. I believe, have I talked with you at any point about my dad and what he used to do and how he got sick from it?
I'm not sure. It sounds familiar,
my dad
but...
worked for the Soapstone Company.
For what?
The Soapstone Company in Schuyler.
Okay.
Prior to that, he worked in nursing homes, where at a time before they really understood the dangers of that wonderful insulating rock.
Asbestos.
Yep.
Mm.
Now, one, we know better the dangers of asbestos. Two, soapstone is also found frequently in the company of asbestos when mined.
Much like talc is.
Because soapstone and talc are also found together.
Aha!
Virginia soapstone, the particular type of soapstone that is found here in the U.S. has a very low hardness rating, but it holds really well.
It really does.
You can carve this stuff. You could carve this stuff with a penny almost. But it heats up really well.
Yep.
It cools down slowly, and it is nearly impervious to pretty much every acid, which meant for years, universities and high schools that had acid rooms in their science buildings built them out of soapstone because they knew that it wouldn't react.
Right.
Anyway, back when Dad first got sick, they were not sure if it was asbestos from the soapstone that had scarred up his lungs, if it was the dust from the soapstone that had scarred his lungs, or if it was asbestos from working in the nursing homes and doing contractor work back in the 70s and 60s that had done it.
Okay. So it was, but it really got his lungs all messed up.
It did. By the time anybody understood there was anything wrong with his lungs, he was down to like 20% of usage in one.
Oof. Oof. Yuck. Maddie says, hear me out. Don't rip out some of the best built cabinets and countertops from like 70 years ago. Imagine if we just rehabbed houses and residential areas. Darth Dragona says, so we need to send residential areas to Arizona so they can detox in the heat? Maddie said, acid rooms or acid rooms? Darth Dragona says, either way, I'm in. Much as I hate doing renovation work, much as I hate working on old houses, I agree. I do agree, Maddie. You know, the 70, even some of the houses built 60 years ago, but 70-year-old houses, you know, are really nice, really well built, and tearing them down and getting rid of the cabinet work, getting rid of the countertops, it's just unfortunate. Pre-Bush era houses, yeah, I'd even say pre-Reagan era. I'd say by really, it was after Vietnam. In the 60s, starting in the 60s or so, the quality went down. The quality of housing went down. The cycle of flooring. Gen X houses on back. I mean, yeah. But in the 60s and 70s, they started cutting corners. It was in the 80s and 90s that housing sort of got questionable, very questionable. In the 90s, you started with the McMansions. And I'm not reading that one, Darth Dragonis. Not reading that one out loud. So, yeah. But, okay, we were talking about stone cutting, about countertops, about rehabbing old houses.
We got distracted by a commercial.
We did. The interior shots of the Albemarle stone cutting place made me uncomfortable. And I don't want to go doing a gotcha thing to them, but also if they are endangering their workers like that, I kind of want to say something. You know, it's
maybe that's something where you ask for a actual tour and see. Because I also wonder if maybe that was kind of they took pictures and that was an AI generation to make it look clean and bright so that it looked good for TV.
Whole lot of that looked like it could be very AI generated. Because I didn't recognize any of it. Any of it. Like the drone zoomed down into the neighborhood. I'm like, what neighborhood is that? Where the heck is... I don't reckon... I know this whole town and I don't know that spot. Whatever... Well, was slightly. It's okay. I didn't recognize any of the neighborhoods, any of the areas in that commercial. And I know all of Charlottesville. I should have recognized the Albemarle stone cutter, the commercial that got us on this topic. So we're thinking that the interior shots of their workspace may have been computer generated or may have been AI. So maybe I'm worried about nothing. But also, it's entirely possible that they don't care and they're not following safety precautions. All right, let's watch this now. Let's go ahead and watch this one.
It's not in my genes.
Born in Cincinnati, Ohio in 1938, entrepreneur and philanthropist Ted Turner built a media empire that revolutionized cable television.
I thought it would be a big success, but I guess I couldn't have figured it would have been this big a success.
After becoming the head of his father's billboard company, Turner bought a struggling TV station in 1970 that he transformed into WTBS, the country's first superstation.
Programming, you know we've got the best of any independent station.
10 years later, he launched CNN, the world's first 24-hour news network.
We sign on June 1, and barring satellite problems in the future, we won't be signing off until the world ends.
Now here's the news.
6 years before I did it, I thought it would be really convenient whenever you got home to be able to tune into the news instead of having to get home at 6:30 or wait till 11 o'clock.
CNN's breakthrough moment came with the Gulf War, the first time a war was broadcast live.
The skies over Baghdad have been illuminated.
I still believe that was the greatest scoop in the history of journalism.
At the end of 1991, he married actress Jane Fonda.
I can't ever forget the reasons that made me fall in love with him.
So when he married Jane Fonda, he brought a no smoking rule to CNN, to Turner Broadcasting. Not only did he quit smoking, he made everyone quit smoking. And it was even possible for you to get fined or fired for smoking on your own time. He saved their lives. I mean, yeah. As a committed cigarette smoker, I find it a little... But yeah, I mean, of all the things, like, that's really not that bad. It's like, you know, okay. I could live with, as a rule.
It put him ahead of the curve when spaces like offices and restaurants finally started going towards being non-smoking areas.
It did. It is a valid rule for a business. You have one in your building. When doctors' offices... You remember when doctors' offices still had smoking areas? Even their doctors' break rooms. Even in their doctor break rooms. Oh, man. I'm sure I remember it, but I don't remember it. But yeah. I remember being able to smoke at fast food restaurants. The building owners won't even allow smoking outside the doors. There's like a 20-foot rule limit. Yeah. And a lot of places are like that, and I think that's good. I do think that's good. I don't, I let myself smoke cigarettes in my room in my house that I own. But I think that it is valid rules for public spaces. Even when I'm smoking a cigarette outside, I try to stay away from other people. Like when I'm walking, that's at your job. That's good. That's good. When I'm walking on the sidewalk and somebody is gonna walk past me, I'll take the outside and like actually step down onto the street and hold my cigarette out away from them. Like give them as much room away from my cigarette as I can. Just to be as polite as possible about it, you know. Non-smokers don't want my cigarette smoke. I get that. So I try to be as cognizant as possible. Sure, but even that's his business-owned building. I'm not usually defending business owners, but that one is solid. Agreed. I think it's a great rule. Yeah, I don't really defend business owners either. I do think that there are some good practices out there, some good business practices that certain people are doing or have done, and we should take a moment to appreciate that. You know, the 20 feet rule is good. The non-smoking buildings, non-smoking areas is good.
I've never met any human being that thinks the way Ted does.
Nicknamed the Mouth of the South and Captain Outrageous.
We gotta go fast as we can here.
Turner expanded his media empire with networks like TNT and Turner Classic Movies and donated $1 billion over 10 years to the United Nations.
I'm no poorer than I was not 9 months ago, and the world is a lot better off.
In 1996, he sold his networks to Time Warner for nearly $8 billion. 5 years later, Time Warner merged with AOL, and Turner was out.
It was more than just a company to me. It was a way of life.
Turner and Fonda parted ways that same year. Turner was a notable conservationist, using his ranches to help bring back the American bison.
If only on a
I think
fire
about the
hazard
future of
reason to
humanity,
ban smoking
mostly.
business
Before
areas.
turning 80, Turner revealed that he had Lewy body dementia and spent his final years enjoying his ranch and his family.
He wants to know
Yeah,
that when he
I
goes
agree.
out,
That
it will be with the love of his children and grandchildren.
that AOL merger was a huge mistake. He's the biggest landowner in Nebraska and has massive land ownership in Kansas. Wow. Did not realize that. He started the Giving Foundation, which is one of the basic philanthropies that the ultra rich give to, that specifically influenced Bill Gates, I think, and what's his name? The money guy. Oh, it's gone now. But yeah, he was, philanthropy was a huge part of who he was. And on an individual level, I think that's probably great. I do feel like philanthropy is a dangerous thing in that it makes the government feel absolved of its duty to take care of people. I don't think that Ted Turner had that perspective in mind when he did it. I think he just wanted to do good things. And I don't think he was using philanthropy to launder his image or launder the actions of his organizations. I think he was participating in philanthropy because he's a good person. Was a good person. I definitely think that there are other people who participate in philanthropy because it launders an otherwise dirty image. I don't know that I've always held the opinion that he participated in philanthropy for the right reasons. I think in the past I might have questioned his intentions. Philanthropy works at the speed of the individual's notions of goodness. Yes. That's another problem with philanthropy. So, yeah, that was Ted Turner, huh? I think I don't know exactly what I think. Koch brothers. Yeah, there you go. There's a good example of philanthropy working at the speed of the individual's idea of goodness. You know, the Koch brothers do philanthropy, but it's philanthropy that works for them. And it is used to launder an otherwise dirty image, and it is used to... It's used for all of the wrong reasons. The Koch brothers' philanthropy is for all the wrong reasons. So, let's move on to the next article. The Great Question Answered? Okay. Oh, here we go. Okay, this is going to be a whole thing. It's all money laundering used to promote their own political beliefs. They originally set it up to get around inheritance taxes and laws. Yup. Exactly. That's exactly it. All right, so the mystery explained. Why hot dogs come in 10 packs but buns in 8. And the answer goes back decades. Have you ever bought hot dogs and buns for a cookout only to realize you're either 2 buns short or 2 wieners over? You'd think that by now the makers of America's favorite ballpark snack would have solved this weird puzzle. Think again. Now, this might sound like a silly conversation to have at a time when many folks are facing much more pressing problems, and you're right. But hear me out, because sometimes solving little mysteries gives us the courage to solve the bigger ones. Baby steps. Come with me on this curious and historic journey to find out why we can't get our hot dog to bun ratio sorted. 2 wieners over. I know. As I said it, I felt it come out of my mouth and it felt funny. Before about 1940, hot dogs were bought and sold from local butcher shops and were not packaged as they are today. Shoppers would simply ask the butcher for the number of sausages they needed and would be charged by the pound. This brings us up to modern day meat packaging, wherein meat is still typically sold by the pound. One standard American hot dog is approximately 1.6 ounces. If you do the math, that means it takes 10 hot dogs to get you 1 pound. It simply makes sense from a meat packing and butchering perspective to sell them by the pound, not by the piece. Similarly, modern bakehouses are optimized for efficiency with standards and systems set firmly in place. Buns are typically baked in clusters of 4 in pans designed to produce 8 rolls apiece. It simply doesn't make sense for most bakeries to completely upend their production system and pan designs to accommodate the average number of hot dogs in a pack. That's what she said. Last time I bought a hot dog,
she did put it there.
It was 12 and 12. That's where I could find the balance between dogs and buns. Yeah, a dozen dogs, a dozen buns. That's what she said. The light at the end of the tunnel in 2022, Heinz and Wonder Bread partnered to solve this very issue in Canada by brokering a partnership to create 10 packs of buns. Maybe a similar deal is on the horizon in the United States. In the meantime, though, we Americans will just have to find a use for those 2 extra sausages. My suggestion, cut those suckers up and make small batch of pigs in blankets for brunch the next day. Everybody wins.
Mm. But if you do that, what will happen to all the little smokies?
Except the pigs. Exactly. I'm gonna leave the hot dog jokes alone. I'm not touching that.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Oh, you actually can hear me.
I can now. Were you speaking before?
A while back.
Huh. I did not hear you at all. The first thing I heard you say was knock knock. What had you said?
The whole time period for it's passed, so it's not gonna make any difference now.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
It's all right. Kathy agreed that, yes, that is what she said, because that is why she put that story there for you to read.
Aha. Y'all just wanted to hear me talk about wieners.
No.
Lockpick bait.
Lockpick bait. Nice. Nice. All right, so on to the next story. Security patches put student learning systems back online after hack. On Thursday, a hacker called the Shiny Hunters said it was responsible for a data breach of Instructure?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Oh, Instructure, which manages Canvas. Okay. Web-based learning management system containing teachers and students' data across North Carolina and the United States is back online after being breached, with one group claiming responsibility for the breach. All right. So what's the long and short of this one?
Massive data breach. And I don't know if you read it or if it says it in that article, but supposedly the hackers that did that are holding all of the data that they got, which is in terabytes.
I believe it.
They're holding it for ransom and have told Instructure that if they don't get their money, they're going to release it all. The problem is because they got a whole bunch of stuff off of Canvas, you have Canvas is used by like 40 or 45% of universities in the US.
Right.
And I don't know how many high schools or even kindergarten on up schools.
Apparently Orange County schools and Cumberland County schools, y'all.
And Albemarle.
And Albemarle. It doesn't say it on here, but...
It's not on that list, but...
It just says including.
Yeah. But, so there's... Aside from having a whole bunch of college students' data of all sorts...
They've got a bunch of high school students, too.
They've got a whole bunch of minors, period.
Yeah.
Because they would have gotten stuff from kindergarten through 12th grade.
Oh, man.
Yep.
Not a good look. Not a good look.
Mm-mm.
Finally, a batch of files in the news we don't want released.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, the next story down features Albemarle's response to this.
Okay.
One of the key points, though, is apparently within a fairly short time frame before this particular data breach, Instructure had another incursion that they played off as being totally handled and were fine.
We're in conversation anyway.
Mm.
Okay. And there goes my processor. You can hear it. You can hear it start whirring.
Mm-hmm.
Canvas data breach prompt security review at Central Virginia schools. Schools across Central Virginia are dealing with the fallout from a nationwide Canvas data breach. Charlottesville City School says student and staff accounts appear protected, but parents are being urged to stay alert and change their passwords. An email sent to Charlottesville schools families Wednesday, May 7th says parent accounts may have been exposed, including emails, names, class announcements, assignments, and calendar events. University of Virginia confirmed it was affected by the breach. Instructure, the parent company of Canvas, told UVA that a criminal threat threat actor obtained data associated with Canvas accounts. Okay. So CHS is starting to do security upgrade, security thing. I wonder what they're doing. I wonder what kind of stuff they're doing to to fortify safety. I don't suppose we'd find out, because that could compromise what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I do hope that yeah, this thing. We'll get to that in a second. I do hope that, for the sake of the kids, they as little as financially possible. Yeah, that's true. I hope, for the sake of the kids, they're okay. I would hate for I'd hate for any of the children to be put at risk because of this. I mean, college students too. I think that's, but at least they're adults.
Personally, if we're going to have hackers doing this sort of thing, I wish they would jump on board with the threats from the Iranian hackers and carry out that particular plan, because that's one I can get behind.
What was that one?
Oh, hacking the banks and credit cards and wiping out everybody's debt in the U.S.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you mean tanking Visa?
Yeah, basically.
But yes.
And that, okay, so that's the thing. That's always been the holy grail or philosopher's stone of hacking. Most movies that have white hat hackers, most movies and shows that have white hat hackers, that's their goal. Or one of the proposed ideas, or and it's yeah. So it is I the end plot of Fight Club, yes, but also the end plot, or not the end plot, but the stated plot of oh god, what was that show? Now that show's slipping out of my head. The Rami Malek show. The computer hacking Rami
Mr.
Malek.
Robot.
Mr. Robot. I refuse to ever believe a hacker in a movie or TV is real unless they're wearing a furry outfit.
Or at least have it hanging up behind them.
Right. But it was also a mentioned plot point in Sneakers. it was what they were trying to do back when they were kids. And I believe somebody even brings up the idea in Hackers. Although I don't remember it being a major plot point in Hackers. According to these white hacker beliefs, throughout the entire history of America, the absolute worst thing ever is a Visa credit card. I mean, yeah. Yeah. That's fair. It is kind of... When you look at it from that perspective, it is kind of silly. I do believe that institutions and corporations use debt to manipulate and control the populace, and they use a lack of affordability to control debt, to keep people in debt. And I do think that it is but I also think that the idea of credit and debt are not in and of themselves evil. I think that capitalism rewards greedy behavior, and in that way, capitalistic notions will tend us in a direction towards a more greedy existence. Fight Club was predicated on 1990s upper middle class white straight dude ennui. Depends on the type of hacking, the goals, and what they're doing. Yeah. You press a few buttons to start a program and wait. Oh, you know what hacking is like in real life?
Mm-hmm.
You press a few... Oh boy, you want to wind up a traditional political Twitch streamer, tell them that capitalism isn't the end-all, be-all of societal problems and issues. Yeah, really. I mean, it isn't. That's the thing. It isn't. I'm anti-capitalist, don't get me wrong. But it's not the worst thing ever. It's the effect that free market capitalism has on the behavior that enables bad behavior, in my opinion. Mercantilism. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I come from a very utopian background. And there was some form of economy there, but yeah, I mean, yes, Maddie, you are correct. These issues can be found in pretty much all systems. It takes a very intentionally designed system to overcome the more base natures of humanity. A lot of these problems are problems with people, not with systems. It's that these behaviors in people are then baked into the systems, put into the systems, and perpetuated in these systems. Sort of like how prejudices have been designed into AI. Not necessarily on purpose, although in Grok's case, very much so. But because these prejudices, these ideas, these concepts, and drives exist in the people who are designing the systems, these things are designed into the systems. Coding is modern magic. You set out a list of demands, commands in an arcane code that requires study in unspoken language. You write the code, you chant the spell, and spend the 5 months finding the one parameter it caused it to go wrong. Who were we? What did I miss? Gives the hacker more time to work on their suit and making sure the fur is properly brushed. Who are...
Look, that's not just hacking. That's programming in general. It's modern magic.
Yes. I mean, yes.
I mean, come on. It requires us to dig stones out of the earth, hit them with electricity, teach them to think, and then chant arcane codes to make them work.
Okay. I mean, yes. The cat just sat on the mixer.
Okay. Which one? KitchenAid or SoundAid?
Sound.
Okay.
Sat on the crossfader, too. It wasn't just sat on the edge, like, and moved the crossfader almost all the way to the other side.
You have to start keeping it under a box so the cat can't sit in it.
No, you don't use a box because the cat will find a way to get in the box.
Right? I think probably not putting it on their step to the window would be a good first step.
Except for the fact that I have seen several cats in action, including yours. You could put something that you want them to not step on the opposite side of the room, and it would somehow be the first step that they need to be on to get to the window.
True. However, I think it is more likely that they will step on the mixer if I put the mixer directly in their way. Darth Dragona says, okay, most of the hackers or wannabe hackers I know are not good people. Maddie says, no, because hacking has a kind of internet badness built into it. You have to be willing to break rules and security systems in the first place. But rules, like glow sticks and piñatas, were made to be broken. I don't know that I know enough hackers. I know all the kids who were hackers and freakers back in the late 90s and early, I don't know all the kids, but I know a bunch of kids who were. And I don't know that they gave up coding and doing that sort of stuff, but they didn't. The drive to continue to hack was not there for them.
So, Darth Dragonus, you just made me come to a realization. Politicians are glow sticks and corporations are pinatas. You break the politician to shine the light on things, and you break the corporation to give everybody prizes.
I'm writing that down for a
Okay.
teacher.
Maddie says, I had a friend who's gay, and I have to emphasize that this was super early in the computer world, who was working as a college student in their IT department and would hack the IP systems to see who was watching gay porn so he could see if they would be into them. I only found out years later. And at the time, it wouldn't have been considered the absolute horror show it would be now. No. It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny in a cute rom-com way. But also, now it would be like, ooh, problematic behavior. I think a lot of hackers now are state actors. It's one of those where he didn't think of the full implications or the understandings we have now. Yeah, exactly. Like, it just didn't occur to him. I mean, but it was also a different time. It was a much more innocent time on the interwebs in a lot of ways. I also think a lot of I think it's gone from being a hacker these days to being a coder. And a lot of coders, will hack to get their first job, to impress a corporation that they got in, and then they'll be like, so hire me. I didn't do anything, but hire me and I'll code for you. I don't think there's a lot of prestige in hacking anymore. Because a lot of hacking is done by state actors who are doing specifically bad things. So there's not a lot of room for individuals out there looking for glory as the guy who cracked the Pentagon or the guy who cracked the FBI. It's a lot of money making. Like the programmers and coders and a lot of other people are whining now. The kids these days who are like, they don't know how to use a computer, but there are kids who are doing that and they're hacking their tablets and school provided laptops and the like, and those are the future hackers. But most kids then and now weren't trying to troll their school computer systems. Yeah. Talking about jailbreaking. Yeah. And they are future hackers and programmers and coders. Yeah. Anybody who is I'm trying to not sound too judgmental here, but anybody who is like over the age of 18 and actively hacking is probably a bad person and doing it for as much money as they can get, because because the legal ramifications of getting caught hacking are pretty excessive. You know, it was, yeah, it's one of those things like, you don't really want to be doing something that illegal as an adult unless you're in it to make a lot of money.
Yes and no. It all depends on what you're attempting to achieve.
Yeah.
And how localized the quote-unquote hacking is. Because nowadays, trying to get Windows to run normally feels like you're actively hacking the system. Because you have to attack the program that is put in there to make sure it runs, to make sure that it runs the way you want it to.
Okay, that's fair. And technically, you don't own your computer or your Windows or any of that. So
I got bullshit.
Huh?
Just
What?
straight up, I call bullshit.
I mean,
I
possession
do
is
own my computer.
Well, okay. How long ago did you buy it? If you bought it,
2020.
yeah, no, you don't.
Yeah, yes I do.
I don't know about all corporations. Most corporations, by that point, were doing this proprietary ownership over their components thing, where you don't really own electronics. You've bought the right to use the electronics. It's why there's this question of right to repair. And I know that Apple is the biggest offender.
For electronics, yes.
But
Otherwise, it's John Deere.
yes. But there are other corporations out there too. I don't know what brand your computer is, so I don't know if it is like that. But I think by 2020, most brands were doing that. How do I hack off Microslop? Yeah. So I rescind my statement that you don't own your computer. But it's highly likely that there is a legal case that could be made by the corporation that they own your computer or that they own the components in your computer. And I'm pretty sure that Microsoft, you're renting Microsoft. You're renting the software
I'm still
package.
using Windows 10, not Windows 11.
Okay. But even if it's not true in your case, it's true in a lot of cases that we don't own a lot of the electronics in our home.
Now, just because they put it in the EULA does not mean we do not own it. We've already proven many times in court that the EULA does not hold up.
Yep.
Okay. If courts
And
have
aside
started...
from that, there are various courts that are working to end the proprietary thing and make it so you can repair your stuff or whatever. They don't get to play this game any longer.
And that's not just you.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is one of those things that, one of those progressions of late stage capitalism that I hate.
Sorry, one of those progressions of what again?
Late stage capitalism.
I'm sorry, that means to off every time someone says that.
Says what?
Mm-hmm.
Late
Something you said
stage
earlier.
capitalism.
Right. Onion has finally actually managed to buy and kick out Alex Jones.
Oh yes, yes. The Onion is Infowars, or Infowars is the Onion now.
Yes.
Biggest proponents are farmers trying to repair farm equipment. Yes.
Yeah.
And I personally think they should be allowed to. I miss the days when I was able to repair a car myself. I thought about trying to do some work. Thought about trying to change the light bulb in my car. And then and I looked in the owner's manual and they were like, so you might want to take it to the dealership, because if you don't have this specialized tool and lift and are able to turn the wheel and keep it off the ground and you can't get to the light bulb. It's like, wow, okay. This is your version of late stage capitalism. Yeah. Moose. Oh. I guess you all didn't see that. I'm sorry.
Excuse me. Fair.
Moose. Christine.
No gap.
No, that was the name of the actress. Christine something. Oh, yeah. Oh, man, that was one of my favorite things, was when one of the kids would be, like, standing next to one of the kids, get the other kid to say water or I don't know, to get dropped, and then get, like, hit as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it always, I always enjoyed that. The collateral damage.
Friendly fire isn't.
Right? Oh, we already looked at that. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah. What were we talking about?
We were originally talking about Canva, or Canvas, and their hacking problems, and we kind of got derailed. So we can move on to the next particular story and be just fine.
Okay. So, yeah. Next story. FBI searches Senate leaders' offices as part of corruption probe. Um,
And in this case, corruption probe means the probe was brought about by corruption, not to uncover it.
right. So, at least that's our going theory. I really do. Okay, it's pretty much all out there. The FBI searched the Virginia State Senate leader's hometown office and her neighboring cannabis shop Wednesday, bringing into public view what two people familiar with the matter told the Associated Press was a corruption investigation. One of the people said the investigation into Democratic Senator L. Louise Lucas was open during Democratic former President Joe Biden's administration. Both sides spoke on the conditions of anonymity to discuss an ongoing criminal investigation.
Sorry,
Well, the probe apparently
is
is...
real quick.
What?
Sorry, can I interrupt real quick?
Yes.
What's her name again?
L. Louise Lucas.
Sounds like a 50s through 70s comic book character with the alliteration of the name.
Yep.
It really does. Louise Lucas. Now, has she come out and said anything yet?
Not that I have heard. She seems to be allowing everybody around her to do all the talking. But
Her statement, I've had better days. It's all good. Everyone is home.
Yep. If this was an investigation started during the Biden administration, given the way the Cheeto has been rushing around and going after people up to and including sitting governors for various things, just because, for whatever reason, but specifically the Democratic ones, I would have thought she'd have been at the top of his list and he'd have gone after her long before now. Especially given how outspoken she has been about him.
Yeah. You'd think.
If this is a real investigation, the fact that they waited until after the referendum in Virginia was voted on and passed, at least by the people who said yes. Right. And then they go after her. It really does not. It shows that they do not have any idea of how they look like to anybody. And you can make the comment of, well, they're supposed to be in law enforcement. They're not supposed to care about the optics, except for they're being run by someone that wears that. They're being run by someone that wears enough orange face paint, self-tanning, and one of his chief henchmen installed his own makeup booth so that he could be right for TV. So they understand optics very well.
Well, I'm pretty sure that their direct head doesn't understand optics because he can't see straight most of the time.
That's what the beer goggles are for.
I will take another side of this argument.
Okay.
Now, I, of course, do think that this is a put up, and I do think she's being investigated for her political views, not for corruption. That I also think that it may not have been the wisest move and may not be the wisest move for Virginia politicians to be in the cannabis game.
Yeah, that was something that caught me kind of off guard.
Look good for you. If you want to pass these laws, if you want to get, it's gonna look bad if you're in the cannabis game before the marketplace is established.
Yeah.
Of course you're gonna end up being investigated for corruption. We don't have a statewide, there is some amount of ability for dispensaries to operate, but it is a very tight area. So, for a politician to be involved with a dispensary before the legal marketplace is all the way through is a bad look. I think it's great that she has been vocal about what she's been vocal about. I think it's great that she's pushed back against the administration, the regime. I think it's dangerous for her to do that and be involved in the local cannabis market. I think that it would be wonderful I think that we need more local cannabis dispensaries owned by black women. I really do. I think that there needs to be some equity in the marketplace here. That being said, one of the major investors and partial owners, I think probably majority owners even, of the Hidden Leaf is a black woman. So there's that. It can claim to be a black-owned business.
Mm-hmm.
But I really don't think politicians should be involved in. I don't think politicians should be involved in alcohol sales either.
Yes.
I really don't think we should have, or tobacco sales. Controlled substances in general. Politicians should not take part in that. Happy Saturday, Just Be Crystal. I was lurking in your stream. So yeah, I'm not saying that. I do think that this was politically motivated. I think that this was unwarranted. I doubt very seriously that there is any actual corruption going on there. Mm. I really do. And I think that this was upsetting. An upsetting travesty of justice. And she has every right to be incredibly angry about this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it should have happened. Also, I don't think she should be taking part in that market.
Yeah.
That's sort of like on a separate note. As an aside. Because I really don't think this raid happened because she has a cannabis dispensary.
No,
I think this raid would have happened for some reason. I think it just makes it easier because she has a cannabis dispensary.
Yeah, true.
I also think, yeah, I think it also shows us that Trump isn't really going to move cannabis down to a Schedule 2 or Schedule 3. He doesn't really want to. He wants to keep us keep us happy and keep us getting high and but he also wants to keep it illegal enough that if he wants to crack down on it for some reason, he can.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like there are going to be some crackdowns before the marketplace is fully in place in Virginia.
Yeah.
I feel like there are going to be some state crackdowns and some federal crackdowns in Virginia before the marketplace is in place.
Mm.
So I have I'm a little on edge about that these days.
Mm.
I don't see why you would be. It's not like you have any dealings with that industry whatsoever.
Was that sarcasm?
Yes.
No, that was a Sarcanyon.
Sarcanyon.
I stand corrected. That was a Sarcanyon.
Yes. Yeah, it's I was a prisoner of war in the war on drugs. Of course I'm going to have some PTSD fear about it kicking off again. You know, I'm not eager to go back to jail for it. I don't wanna.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to go back to jail for it. I don't need a vacation that bad anymore. But if it's gonna be illegal, if it's gonna be like that, then I am gonna end up going back to jail for it because I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna stop. I'm not gonna hide it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna be like, no. If they arrest me for it, then I will be arrested for it, and I will stand up and say, yes, I did this. I believe your law is wrong. I do not believe in your law. Put me in jail. I do not repent. Attica! Attica! Attica!
All right.
I don't have I don't have it in me to hide who I am ever again. I do not have it in me to not be completely myself. I mean, I can still do acting. Don't get me wrong. Anybody who out there looking to cast me or represent me, I can still act. But in general, out in public, as a person, pot traumatic smoking disorder. Close. But yeah, I don't have it in me to hide being queer, to hide smoking weed, to hide being different. I just don't. Nah, I ain't got it in me. If any of this is a problem for the world, then come at me, brah.
How do you need an upper topper plopper stopper?
I can't act anymore. I can't act any less either.
Fair.
Okay, now let's get back to what you had just said there, Peanut Gallery.
You said come at me, brah. And I asked, why did you need an upper topper flopper stopper?
Well, thank
They're
you.
not
That reminds me.
floppers. They're perky, but I need something to, lift them. They may be perky, but they don't.
Separate.
That's why. Also, to hold the falsies in. Because, I mean, I do occasionally want to have a chest that actually fits my chest. Although, I do feel like my falsies are just a little too small. Like, they could use to be, like... They're probably about the size that I would have. But they're like... I don't feel like they're proportionally the right size for my chest.
So you're looking to upgrade to an over-shoulder boulder holder?
Definitely.
To display your chesticles?
Breasticles.
Ooh, yes, this lights up. I should send that to her. See, look! It's rechargeable.
Not
You
gonna
should be
ask.
considered what I'm looking at, yes.
A rechargeable bra?
Yep.
Okay, so next up, and also on my mind this week, was the gutting of the Voting Rights Act. Tennessee Republicans pass new gerrymandering follows Supreme Court's Voting Rights Act ruling. Oh, nice. So,
yeah.
Tennessee's Republican-controlled legislature approved a new congressional map Thursday that dismantles the state's majority black district and will likely secure them an all-GOP federal delegation. The redraw comes as Republican-led southern states scramble to enact new maps in the wake of last week's Supreme Court ruling that weakened Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act and opened the door to states blowing up blue districts drawn to protect voting power of racial minorities. So, yeah, basically, have we discussed what the gutting of the Voting Rights Act sort of means in real terms?
Was Tennessee the one that had the police come in and escort the two black representatives out before the vote?
Yes.
Whoa. Whoa.
I believe it was Tennessee.
No, this is just political, not racial.
Mm-hmm.
And then they ask the two black guys to leave.
There was no asking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, and this leads me to what happened in Virginia this week. Did you put up an article?
It was only finalized
Oops, wrong button,
yesterday.
Sorry. So you didn't put up an article? That's okay. We can talk about it right now.
No.
I did.
Yeah, Peanut Gallery got to it.
Bottom one.
So yeah, let's just talk about this now. Virginia redistricting ruling assailed as terrifying moment for democracy. Wow. Who the fuck?
Yep.
Dropped an F-bomb.
I did not get an unslanted article. I just got the first article that had something about it.
Well, okay, so the Virginia state...
Unlike some people, am not a very good research reporter.
Right. It's okay. That's not your job. The Virginia State Supreme Court struck down the referendum to allow redistricting, to allow not just redistricting, midterm redistricting, but midterm political redistricting. And I've heard two reasons why. One reason I've heard is because the Virginia Constitution has been amended for not to so that we don't have political redistricting. We can't partisan gerrymander anymore. And all districting is to be done by
Independent commission.
An independent commission. Thank you. God, I was going to struggle for that.
Sorry.
No. Don't be sorry. It's part of getting old. And just words are going to continue to escape me. Yeah, so this, now one of the argument that the part of that argument that didn't hold water for me was saying that it was bypassing the state constitution to change the state constitution or to do something unconstitutional. And I don't think that a referendum is bypassing the Constitution, the state constitution. My opinion is that referendums are constitutional. But I don't know, because I haven't read the Virginia State Constitution. I think that referendums are an acceptable way to ask the public how they feel about a specific policy, if they want it or not.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel
it's how people change the Constitution to match what they want.
Yes, exactly. Now, we weren't changing a constitution. We were saying this is a temporary thing.
Right.
The other argument being made, or that was made, is that it was confusing. It didn't properly... People didn't properly understand the language.
Okay.
If that's a reason to shut down anything done legislatively
Right.
or through referendum, then that should shut down everything because they specifically make sure that it is confusing.
Right. Now, having voted, I read the referendum. I read what was there. I read what was written. I did not find it confusing. I read it twice to make sure I didn't find it confusing. Like, I paid pretty close attention to it because I knew we'd be talking about it. I paid close attention to it because I knew it was important. And I was curious to see if it would be couched in legalese. And it very much wasn't. It was very plain English.
Yep.
So, I find the first argument to carry more weight than the second. I do not find the first argument to carry a lot of weight. But if I look at it through the filter of objectivity, there are parts of it that I can see why the decision went the way it did.
Yeah.
You know, if we had a referendum that amended the state constitution, I would find it more valid because the state because it was, I mean, we did have a referendum on whether or not we want to subvert the state constitution for 4 years.
I have to disagree onto the opposite side.
Okay.
The referendum as it stands, they're saying that it goes against the constitution of the state. I don't entirely agree with, just like you. But it would hold significantly less water if it was to amend the state constitution, because a referendum is the tool in which you put forward an amendment to the state constitution.
Okay. I
can see your point. It's also it is kind of academic. Either way, it's sort of like we both agree that a referendum is a way for the will of the people to be heard, and the people said, I won't say unequivocally because it was kind of close, but the majority of the people in Virginia said, we want this.
Yeah.
And whether the Constitution, whether that's against the state constitution or not, and, you know, and how could the wording have been different to get it to be, none of that really matters. It really matters that the will of the people is being subverted.
The question is, incoming bad joke, whether these judges are now going to require that we change the state motto from Sic Semper Tyrannis to We Simp for Tyrants.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I see it. I see it. That's So there we go. That's that's the two voting things. I do feel like we are heading towards a more. We're heading towards our votes mattering less. And so we need to really make our voting heard. And all of us need to come out and vote now in these next elections and vote in the primaries. And hopefully that is enough. You know, hopefully if we do get out, vote, and make our voices heard and really try hard, it will be enough for to fight back for democracy. Virginia needs to take and keep the legislative and executive branches of the state government. Progressive, that needs to remain progressive for at least another cycle, solid, good cycle, to get into place the important, and not only to get into place, but cement into place the important social social equality laws that will keep this a safe state. A state that is safe for people like me. I think it's... I don't trust that that we're gonna remain on this trajectory. And I don't trust that we're gonna be able to save our democracy ourselves. I think that what is actually going to happen is Trump is gonna have to die, and his party is gonna have to eat itself from the inside before we can even start getting back to normal. Before we can even start getting back to the semblance of the America that we knew before. Where there was some form of equality, some form of equity. I'm afraid he has infiltrated too far into the judicial and legislative branches for us to really be able to fight back just yet.
Sorry, I'm going to have to step away for a bio break. My tanks are currently filled up with the BS that we're dealing with, and I need to expel.
Understood. So, let's move on to something else depressing then.
Yeah?
Jeez. United Healthcare to remove prior authorization for 30% of its services. Oh, no, wait, that's not bad.
No, that is
That's
something
good.
that they
Okay.
shortly thereafter their change in CEO. They promised that they would be looking into changing how they did prior authorizations, and this is a step towards that. And removing 30% of
first step.
what is currently required.
Prior approval requirements are this thing where, you know, to get procedures, to get medicine, to get healthcare, basically the insurance company has to approve it before you can get it.
Yep.
And it's
one of the other things they're supposed to be working on is changing how they do the remaining prior authorizations, as in not just rubber stamping no on everything like they had been.
Right.
They're supposed to have actual people with actual applicable knowledge and training to look at this and go, yeah, this is a cancer patient. This is their cancer medication. They need this. This is real. Yes,
Right.
we're clicking yes. That is the other change that they're supposed to be making with their new CEO.
Okay, good. Their prior approval requirements don't just mean that it's that, oh, if they don't approve it, you have to pay for it. It means if they don't approve it, you don't get that treatment. You can't get that treatment.
A lot of the time.
If it's a medicine that they won't, that they'll be like, oh, well, you know, we'll only approve the generic. But it turns out that there's something in the generic that you're allergic to.
You're SOL.
Then you can't even get. You can't pay out of pocket for the other one. You can't get anything. But also, a lot of times, what will happen is, you'll get prescribed a medication, and you'll get your first prescription filled for the entire thing. But then when you go to get your second prescription filled, they'll only approve half of it.
Yep.
And so you'll only end up with a half supply, or worse. They'll only approve a week's worth at a time, and you have to go through this thing where you have to get these prescriptions from your doctor every week, and your doctor may be writing a full prescription every week, but you're only getting approved for half of it or a week's worth or whatever every time. And your doctor may be aware of what's going on, but the healthcare system in general isn't, and it begins to look like you're abusing this medication.
Yes. I know someone that's they're on an anxiety medication. One that has nasty side effects if they suddenly go off of it. And they have been on this anxiety medication for a decade at this point.
Benzos are a bitch.
They also are on a separate ADHD medicine, but that one doesn't have the same drasticness as the anxiety one. And she has gone round and round. She'll call in her prescription, and the pharmacy will get it, and the pharmacy will then say, well, we need to do the pre-authorization, we need to call this, and we need to do that, and they do that. And she tries to do this like a week before her meds run out so that she's not fooling around and suffering.
Right.
And then about half of the time, the insurance is like, oh, your doctor wrote this for this amount, 90 days, but we're not giving you 90 days, we're giving you 30 days.
Right.
Fine, you're giving me 30 days, at least give me the 30 days. And they get that straight. But the other half of the time, because there have to be so many prior authorizations and whatever else, there's someone at her particular pharmacy that seems to believe that she is abusing the
medication.
And will make verbal judgments about how some people blah blah blah. There was a period where she had to change her prescription because she didn't need it where it was. They were stepping her down. They were changing the dosage, but the pills didn't come in the right right amount.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of having her cutting pills in half and having accidents that way, the doctor wrote the prescription, so she was getting, let's say that she was supposed to be getting like 30 milligrams instead of 50 of whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
He stepped her down, so instead of getting the 50 pill, he wrote it out so that she got a 20 milligram and a 30 milligram that she's supposed to take every day.
Okay.
And the judgy person tried to give her just the 10 milligram ones. Didn't note that the prescription had changed, didn't note that it had stepped down, didn't note any of that. After they got their rigmarole with the insurance taken care of, tried to give her just the 10 and be like, yeah, here, this is it. And she's like, no, there's supposed to be another bottle of these. No, it's all there. No, it's not. Read the prescription again. Well, it says this. Yeah. That means you're supposed to be giving me a bottle of this and a bottle of that. Not a larger bottle with all of this, because that is not the same thing.
Right. It is, I watch a lot of friends struggle with this.
Yeah.
And it is quite upsetting. And so it is good to hear that they are working on it.
Yeah.
This had better just be a good first step. They'd better keep going.
They're supposed to. They made big promises, and they are finally getting around to taking the first step. And
it's easy to make big promises when somebody's holding a gun to your head.
Well, that's the thing, is the warehouse fires have continued. We're now into double digits on those.
So the gun's still being held to their head.
effectively. It's still being noted that things have reached the tipping point where doing nonviolent protests is feeling more and more pointless, where you vote like you're supposed to and your vote passes and then it's ignored, where you're doing all the things you are supposed to do properly. I guess it's time to do something else now.
Yeah. I mean, for legal reasons, we here at the show are not endorsing any sort of violent or destructive action.
No, we are not. We are merely comparing the fact that behavior patterns in the past have indicated the way things appear to be heading.
Yes.
Much like the French Revolution, and we know what happened to the rich people there.
Correct. We are prognosticating, we are not endorsing.
Exactly. We are reviewing history. That is what we are doing.
For legal reasons, we are saying this.
Oh, yeah.
So, alright, so that's a slightly uplifting article. Let's see what else we've got.
Less uplifting.
Oh, the hantavirus.
Yay.
Is that what we're going out on?
Not necessarily. We can find something else, I'm sure.
Well, for now, let's discuss this hantavirus. Hantavirus. Okay. Because I kept hearing them say junta. Like the junta's,
No. It's Hanta.
Group.
It's been hantavirus forever, because that's what they call it when they're studying it in rats in New Mexico.
So, this is, it broke out on a cruise ship.
Right.
And it has had a little bit of spread. It's pretty bad. But
it is.
It does not spread. It is not easily spread like COVID or the flu or cold. It doesn't.
It does not spread as easily as those. The problem is that normally this is something that you only get by effectively being bitten by a rat that's got it.
Or being exposed to their droppings.
And the one thing that you hear or have heard a lot, or at least that I have heard a lot, is how this is a particular strain that once a human has it, has been able to be passed from human to human.
And that is a new thing. However, apparently it still requires prolonged contact.
Right. Which, cruise ship.
Right?
But the other thing that I've been hearing is how this actual particular strain was under review and under study last year. And then all of a sudden, after January of last year, all of the centers that were studying this suddenly were shut down. So the research has gone away, including any research that would have led to treatments.
Yep. There are no known treatments or vaccines.
Yep.
And it has, I don't know what the mortality rate is, but it's a pretty high mortality rate.
Yeah.
So now, because it's not easily spread, I don't think we're looking at the next COVID.
No.
But it may be a bad one.
My first thought is the fact that this is very much taking off of the 90s germ movies.
Oh, God.
And one of the big things that they pointed out is how viruses are actually living organisms and how they will grow and change.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Although, again, I don't... yeah, I don't see this... If it does become more easily transmissible, I think the mortality rate will go down.
Yeah.
Because it would prefer not to kill its host if it doesn't have to.
Mm-hmm.
It would prefer to have its host survive and transmit as much of it as possible. You know, if its host dies, it will die eventually. Although,
yes.
Another thing about the hantavirus, is its ability to survive outside of a host under adverse conditions is pretty impressive. It can survive in a whole lot of conditions outside of a host for a good long time. It was listed as a constitutional amendment.
Yep.
Gosh. So yeah, hantavirus. Really dangerous. I mean, not... I don't know. I don't think it will become a global pandemic.
No.
To the same degree.
Less the thinking of... For me, it's less the thinking of... this is going to be a global pandemic, and more the thinking of this is something that we were working on making sure didn't get a chance to become that.
And then we crushed the research, and now we're screwed.
And now we've got something that should not be on a cruise ship at all on a cruise ship.
Right.
Because the other thing that got nuked last year were the inspections on things like cruise ships for health violations. Exactly.
Do you want the zombie apocalypse virus? This is how you get the zombie apocalypse virus. Is that really what you want? Do you really want zombie apocalypse? Just Well, friends, that was depressing. Thank you for joining us here at Saturday Evening's Most. Yeah, wow. That is, yeah, you want the zombie apocalypse, Darth Dragonis? All right. Yeah, this has been a depressing episode here.
Oh, here's the last one. Would you like?
Oh, do we
Well, that I
really
just
want
saw
to
this
see that the
morning.
Virginia traveler home after
Not that.
hantavirus? Oh.
Not that. This one.
Trump phone canceled. Outrage grows over delays and deposit concerns. Trump Mobile has drawn a sharp... Oh, man. He was going to release a phone.
You forgot about that?
Yeah.
I think, yeah, I tried to.
Oh, well, I'm sorry.
Well, at least he's not doing that. By declaring that an amendment is unconstitutional, thus preventing its implementation, is effectively stating that prohibition is still in effect as the repeal was technically unconstitutional. Well, thank goodness I don't drink anymore. Jeez.
Fair.
If I have to take up drinking just to stand up against unfair laws in the state and go back to jail because of... Oh,
no, that's just my take on their reasoning behind throwing out the referendum.
It's a valid take. I agree with your take. I very much agree with your take. I also now just, am worried that to stand up to the government, I'm going to have to start drinking again.
No, the simple answer is you take me drinking and you get to be the designated driver for me.
All right. That's like the stoned leading the drunk. Oh, no, wait, that's exactly what that is.
And you're sitting there looking like you have just heard the mother of all bad decisions.
No, I'm just trying to make a horrible pun out of this, and I'm not, it's not working.
I have broken his brain. Not really. What?
I told him he's too sober to make that kind of a pun.
Well, all right. Before this devolves any further,
Stone cold, sober.
Okay, that is fair. That is actually damn fair.
Instead of stone cold sober, saying that someone's completely sober, the three of us make stoned, cold, and sober.
it's sober. Yes. That does work. Hi, my name's Trevor Stewart 1308, and I'll be playing the part of Stoned tonight.
I'm Kat. I'll be the cold one.
And the peanut gallery, as usual, remains sober.
Totally tober.
Yes, that.
Well, all right, friends. Thank you for joining us. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you, Kat. Thank you, Peanut Gallery. Thank you, Darth Dragonis. Thank you, Maddie Holmes. Thank you, Chris in the 386. Thank you, Just Me Crystal. Am I missing anyone? I can fix all three of those things.
I imagine you could.
I think I got everybody. I said thank you, Maddie Holmes, right?
Yes, you did.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you, all you lurkers. Thank you so much for being here. Stick around for the raid. Much love. And now is the time on the show when I say, as they say around here, 2 up, 2 down, VA, double deuces.
Chemistry.
We're out, y'all.
Horrible jokes and decisions.
Naturopathic, already altered and horrible brain chemistry. You're neurospicy, dear.
And on that note, bye.